Hello all my 4th and 5th grade percussion students. Hope you guys have been practicing the first video that we did on single stroke rolls. And what I'm going to do this lesson today is going to be on double stroke rolls, right? How to do doubles with each stick. And I'm going to review a couple of basic things we did first on the single stroke rolls. I want to make sure you guys are holding the sticks correctly. We're using matched grip, and we talked about having the stick in between this first joint of your middle finger, right there where it bends, and then my thumb. I'm using my index finger kind of just as a guide along the side of the stick. And then my last two fingers, pinky and ring finger, on the bottom of the stick. My hand is fairly flat, and I want to keep bringing the stick back into this space underneath my thumb. So what I want to do is find the spot where I have this swivel. These two fingers are helping guiding it in. And then I'm using the two fingers to help guide it back into that spot. And I want to arrange my hand so that it goes there easily, so I'm not having to pull it at some weird angle, somewhere between totally flat and a little bit of an angle. But if I'm this way, right, with my thumbs pointing up or with my index finger on top of the stick, it's going to be hard to keep getting it in there. So I just want to be relaxed and find that spot and review our double strokes, or our single strokes. And we talked about the bounce, a slight bounce of an inch or two, a little bigger, 6 inches or so, and then coming straight up to vertical, and so on. All right, so if you haven't been working with that first video, guys, do me a favor and get on there and work on that. Download the PDF and set up a practice routine, because hopefully in September we'll be together back in band, and we want to be able to pick up from here, right? So now I'm going to give you a couple of exercises to start developing the double stroke roll. And the first one we want to do, and this will be on the PDF included with this video on the bottom of the video, is I want to hold the sticks lightly in a very relaxed manner in that spot between the middle finger and the thumb. And I want to practice letting the stick fall and just bounce. These fingers aren't touching. I'm holding it like this, and I'm just letting the sticks bounce as many times as it bounces. And what we're doing is getting used to allowing the stick to bounce in a loose grip between these two fingers without these fingers touching too much or at all. Mine aren't touching at all. And I'm trying to let the stick bounce back into this spot. Now, I want to just do this and get used to this movement and being relaxed. Now we're going to do this. We're going to start a single stroke roll. A double stroke roll, I'm sorry. I'm going to let the stick bounce, but on that first bounce, it's going to go stick or stroke bounce. I'm going to use these fingers to pull the stick into that spot. So I'm getting a stroke and a bounce. Right? And you notice I'm only moving my wrist that first time. And the second time, I'm catching it. And what I want to do is start slowly. And you'll see number 3 on the tip sheet here. The prep exercises, it said start slowly and just play the double strokes. Notice when you go slowly, if I start this real slow, I can still move my wrist twice. What happens is, as I speed this up, there's going to be a spot where I can't move my wrist 2 times, and I'm going to start to need to incorporate that bounce. So watch how that looks, and I'll see if I can note around where that happens. So I'm doing double strokes with my wrist. At a certain speed, I can't move my wrist any faster. So now I'm bouncing. As I slow down, around here, I'm doing 2 separate strokes with my wrist. Now I'm bouncing. Slow it down. And I start using my wrist. And you want to play around with that until you get that movement from the double wrist to the bounce, right? And then what you want to do is try to keep that even. We're not using the metronome yet. We're just trying to learn how to control this bounce and find that spot. Where I'm going from moving my wrist twice to bounce, right? And you want to try that at different heights. Low, 6 inches. I don't know that you're going to get exactly vertical. You're close to it, you know. Right? But what you're really focusing on is your volume, low volume. As you get louder, the sticks get higher. Okay? So now, on the bottom of this page, on the bottom of this video, there's there's 2 PDFs, and one is an exercise with single and double stroke rolls, and this you could use as a warm-up. You should probably do this every day. So the first one is a single stroke roll, starting at all of these are going to start at 60 beats a minute, and then you want to gradually speed up the metronome until you get them to 120 beats a minute with quarter notes, 1 note per click, and then bring the metronome back to 60 and do 1/8 notes, right? And then you speed that up to 60, or from 60 to 120, you come back to 60, and you could try to do 16th notes. So let me demonstrate how that looks. I'm going to be on exercise 1 on the single and double stroke roll sheet. So I'm at 60, going quarter notes, right, left. I'm using my bounce. I'm focusing on my technique. Am I coming back to that spot? Now, I'm going to speed this up little by little, 80, 90, 100, until I get to twice my original speed, which 60 times 2 is 120, and I'm going to be here. Whoops. I get to 120 exactly. Now I'm doing quarter notes. Let me turn this a little louder for you guys. This is 120, doing quarter notes. Now if I go back to 60, those quarter notes become 1/8 notes at 60. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now if I speed my 1/8 notes up to 60, I'm sorry, if I speed my 1/8 notes up to 120, I'm at 60 now. Right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I speed that up to 120. And I have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You could either stay there or go back to 60, and these would become 16th notes. 1 E and a 2 E and a, like that. I'm going to do that. All right. So now I would have 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. I always like practicing with less clicks and filling in the beats so that I have to create the timing in my brain and not depend on so many clicks to play, right? So what this will sound like if I stay at 60, quarter notes would be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 16th notes, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a. I'm going to do that a measure each without counting out loud so you can hear it with the click. Quarter notes. Eighth notes. Sixteenth notes. Okay, I'm going to stop there with the timing because that's all you'll need for these exercises. I'm going to go to 120 and I'm going to go from quarter notes to eighth notes. This is exercise 1. And again, this is just a review of your single stroke rolls. Quarter notes. Second exercise on that line, eighth notes. Quarter notes. Eighth notes. Right? Line 2, single stroke rolls starting with the left stick. 1, 2, 3, 4. Quarter notes. Eighth notes. Quarter notes, left, right. Eighth notes. Okay, so you can just practice those with your metronome at whatever speed is comfortable, but you want to get used to going from those quarter notes to eighth notes. Later on, I'm going to do a more detailed video of staying at one speed and going from quarters to eighths to sixteenths and all of that stuff. Now, line 3, exercise 3, starts our double stroke rolls. I'm at 120. I'm doing quarter notes, right, right, left, left. I'm moving my wrist twice because this is fairly slow. But work on your technique. How to hold the stick, different heights. Now I'm going to go to eighth notes. Right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. All right, line 4. Same thing, double stroke rolled, starting with the left stick. Quarter notes. Eighth notes. Quarter notes. Eighth notes. Okay, now the next 2 lines, the last 2 lines, exercise 5, I'm going to just stay at eighth notes. I'm going to do 2 measures of single stroke starting with the right. right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, and then 2 measures of double strokes starting with the right. And I want to try to keep that timing super even and that transition between singles and doubles, so you can't hear a difference in my strokes, right, in my timing. So here's eighth notes, exercise 5, singles to doubles. Singles, doubles, singles, doubles, single, doubles. Last one. Last line, same exercise, starting with the left stick, singles, 3, 4. Doubles, singles, doubles. Last one, single, doubles. All right, guys, well, good going. I know that's kind of tedious stuff to take in, but it's important. We're going to do another one in a week or two on paradiddles, where we mix singles and doubles. And those are your most important strokes: singles, doubles, and paradiddles. Everything else is kind of based on those. So if you have any questions, send me an email. Download these PDFs, print them out. This exercise page, single and double strokes. I would try to work on each line every day for a minute or two. Get a clock with a second hand and watch it. And that should take you, 5-10 minutes if you do it once or twice through each. And then start slow, speed it up gradually, and see if you could work up to 120, as I did, doing eighth notes. Work at a speed with the metronome that's comfortable. Don't work at a speed where you're starting to glitch up. The main thing when you're doing these is to be relaxed between the transitions. So even if I'm doing this speed to doubles, that's fine. I don't want to glitch out when I do that. Practicing fast and making mistakes just gets really good at making mistakes, right? All right, guys, so hope you're all doing well. I'll see you in a week or two with the paradiddle lesson, and keep practicing.